Well, hello, everybody. This is Joe Watts, alumni president of Enterprise Academy and Great Plains Academy. And we are glad to be here with Pedro Perez, graduate of '88. So, welcome, Pedro.
Thank you. It's
Um,
great to be
I
able to
already
greet
told
everyone.
I already told when you graduated. Did you go all 4 years at Enterprise, or you went to
I
Midland,
didn't.
didn't you?
I was only at Enterprise for 2 years.
2 years, junior and senior year. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought and remembered. And anyway, did you have? Everybody had a job on campus, I guess. Not did you have a job? What was your job on campus?
Yeah, I actually liked my job quite a bit. The first year I worked in the kitchen with Mike Dirksen and thoroughly loved that. Mike was a
Yeah.
great boss. I think the thing I liked most about Mike is he'd send me into the dish room and there were dishes higher than me. But then in a little bit, he'd come in and help me. And I remember he sent me to go clean the dumpster. And I thought, why clean a dumpster? It's a dumpster, for goodness sake. But a little bit later, Mike was there in the dumpster with me. And he sent me into the freezer to stock the food. And sure enough, a little bit later, Mike came in with me. And he was a great boss. And then the second year, I got to work at the store with Mrs. Moore. And that was fun for me too, because I got to drive a car. She'd ask me to
All
take her
right.
car and go to the cafeteria. So of course I would drive by the boys' dorm, right? Like I could have gone the other way, but I drove by the boys' dorm to make sure everybody knew I was driving a car. And Norma was great. She was very good to me.
Yeah, she's a good lady. She's
Yeah.
really a neat person. And so anyway, we talked about a favorite teacher, and you seem to think of someone that kind of
Yeah.
was special to you.
I can't. I want to say the name was Jenny. She was the girls' assistant dean, and I was struggling in algebra two, didn't understand it, and there were other kids too. And so she said, "Oh, I'll teach another class for those that need to be, more time to get it and understand it." And all of a sudden, I was like, "Is this the same material that we were supposed to be learning before? Because I get this. Like this makes sense." And she helped me thrive in algebra 2. So I'll forever be grateful for that because it went from I don't get this is impossible to I got this.
Yeah, yeah, you understand it. It's
Yeah,
amazing. A teacher that can teach is really important, aren't they?
for
They're
sure.
really amazing. Uh, what's your best experience at Enterprise that you remember?
there are a lot of there are a lot of
Well,
great experiences from playing basketball in the gym to doing things with friends in the dorm. I don't There's some stuff that I don't know I should say on film,
there you
but
go.
I know I know that one of my favorite innocent things that I did was a friend and I, we both put wigs on, right? I had a clown wig on, and he had on some other wig that was like a clown wig. And so we just went all around the campus during rec time where we were supposed to be in the gym, right? But we would just run up and scare people and then run away. And because we had our wigs on, and I think we had some other face mask on, nobody knew who we were, so we got away with it. And I remember one of the staff came outside and we ran in and hid in the bushes in the front of the gym. And they said, "Who's back there?" And we were trying to be so quiet to not get caught. And then I thought they're going to see me. So I sat down, and I sat down right on the water faucet handle, and that turned the hose on. And so then we were getting wet, and it was innocent fun, but it was just a great time just being young and having fun there at the academy.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. And
Yeah.
here I thought you were a serious student and
Oh,
never got
all
in
the
trouble.
time. You know, I went into town. I went into town to get a haircut. They let us walk into town, and the guy got out a straight edged razor, and I thought I was gonna die that day. Like I
I
thought
thought you were
he's
dead.
gonna miss. Like that's like why would you be that close to my neck? And that freaked me out. But I obviously didn't die. Like God
Yeah,
protected me,
right.
so we're good.
So anyway, well, that is cool. Uh, was there a religious activity that you was special, meaningful to you?
Yeah, there was a week of prayer that messed with my head, and I could feel God pulling at my heart. And I grew up in a Christian home. It's not like I had a wild and crazy life, but I knew that Jesus was talking to me, and I could feel that he wanted me to get closer to him that week. And I'll never forget, because every night for like the first 2 or 3 nights of the week of prayer, I'd kneel down before my bed in my dorm room. I had this like inch long red shag carpet. Imagine that. And I can still feel that on my knees and see it. And I was like, God, tonight, like, I want to be totally yours. And then I was like, but maybe tomorrow. I want to, but maybe tomorrow. And I did that for a couple nights until finally I was like, you know what, God, I'm sorry. This is silly. I really do want to be yours. And I'm all in. Like, whatever my life is, whatever I'm going to be, like, I want you to lead me. And I'll never forget that. That happened right there in a dorm room at Enterprise Academy, where God used the week of prayer speaker. And I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was Benji Leach, but I'm not sure who it was. But God used Enterprise Academy and that week of prayer speaker to set me up in an environment in that dorm room all by myself, to surrender my heart to him and say, God, I want you to be in control of my life in a deeper way, in a fuller way. And that was a great experience for me. That really set the direction for my life.
Yeah, it very likely was Benji. I know I brought Benji in for a week of prayer, and I don't remember which one it was, but that may have been. Anyway, what we didn't find out from you is what you're doing now. Uh,
Yeah, right now I work in Florida Conference as the Pathfinder and Adventure Director. I've been doing that for 10 years here in Florida. And that's like, I've pastored in Michigan, I've pastored here in Florida. Then we went to New England where I was youth director. Then we came back down to Florida a second time. And that's where we've been for 10 years.
yeah, that's cool. I've kind of followed your progress and really, really proud of you, Pedro, and proud of what you're doing. Uh, I know your family pretty well, and just I knew you when you were a little younger, and
Yeah,
really, really proud of what you're doing for the Lord. That's exciting. Is there anything you'd like
thank
to
you.
tell us about your time at Academy?
My time at Academy is some of my greatest memories. And I know they say that those are some of the best years of your life. I think you have all the potential with very little responsibility. I know Enterprise taught me how to grow up and have some responsibility. I remember Dean Epperson would be standing at the door of the cafeteria. And if you hadn't cleaned your room, he would send you back to your room to clean it before you could eat lunch. And so guys learned how to clean their rooms, right? They might not have ever done it before. But Enterprise also gave me a chance to get involved spiritually. So I got to start teaching Sabbath school. I got to start doing some different things. I got to go on trips. I was in band. I was in gymnastics. So we'd go on tour and do different trips that way. Obviously, on campus, you had all the spiritual emphasis and the different things that were going on campus. The work, I love the work study program. I think that was solid to be able to help me grow. I know that my family sacrificed a lot for me to be able to be there, and I'm forever grateful for that. And that's probably one of my favorite experiences of Enterprise. I remember my dad came up. For some reason, he had some kind of deal where he'd come up and plant flowers. Imagine that.
Yes,
He
that's
would
right.
plant flowers at Enterprise. And I remember one day he came, but he came in our old blue van. And when he drove onto campus and I saw that van, I thought, oh my goodness, Dad, why didn't you get a truck from the hospital that was nice and new and actually one color paint? Like, my dad had spray painted the bottom of the van to cover the rust, and he picked the wrong color blue, so it looked two-tone. And the muffler was bad, so it rumbles, and he tried to make it sound like he was driving a race car just because he didn't have money to fix it. And so, like, he gets on campus, and I'm thinking, oh man, what in the world? So I remember I said, I came out of the dorm, I came out of the ad building, I saw him, and I said, Dad, I'm going to go change, and then I'll come back and I'll help you. So I went to the dorm room, I changed, and by the time I got back, as my dad always did, somebody was there talking to him, right? Like, he found somebody to talk to. And so he's talking away. And as I'm there helping him plant flowers and get stuff, it was one of our staff members. It was Mr. Hill, I believe, the chemistry teacher. And
Yeah.
he looked up at Mr. Hill, my dad did, with his little shovel in his hand, and he said, "Do you see that van over there?" And I was like, "Dad, how could anyone miss that van? Don't bring attention to it." But then he went on and said this. He said, "I could be driving a new car. I could be driving a sports car. But do you see that boy over there?" And he pointed at me. And he said, "I want my son to be here at Enterprise Academy. And I want him to have this experience of a Christian education." And he said, "I can live with driving that van if it means that he's going to get this kind of experience." And I tell
Amen.
you, that van became a beautiful vehicle to me after that. Like, I
You bet.
thought, that's the most beautiful vehicle I've ever seen, because it touched my heart, right? Like, I saw that my dad was willing to do whatever it took to bless me. And I'm the same way that our Heavenly Father does, right? Like, so I'm very grateful. But those are the kinds of things that I learned over and over again by being at Enterprise. Just some great principles of what it means to be a follower of Jesus and what it means to have parents who are willing to invest in you. I'm very grateful.
Boy, thank you for that story. That's beautiful. I know your dad, and so I know that I know that's true, and he would say that, and he believed that. There's no question
Yeah.
about it. And
Yeah.
he loved his children and his
Yep.
wife. He loved the Lord, and it showed. He was a
Absolutely.
great man, one of the neatest men I've had the privilege of knowing. And
Thank you.
you talked about going on tours. So you were gymnast and
Yeah.
played in the band. What did you play in the band?
I
What
played
instrument?
the trumpet.
Oh, the trumpet. All right.
I played the trumpet, yeah. And I was in choir, but that's the only D I ever got in academy. And I couldn't sing for it to save my life. Wherever they put me, I would try to sing the notes of the people that were around me instead of the notes I was supposed to. And I was just in bad shape. So I didn't last too long in choir, but I love the tours with gymnastics. I love the adrenaline of the home show, right? When everybody comes and you save your best stuff for the home show, and
Yep.
I love doing that. We played basketball. They were called the Penguins. Like, that's, I don't even know why we came up with the Penguins. Like, who's afraid to play a basketball team named the Penguins? Like, it's just, there's no
They could just
intimidation with
waddle
that
around.
at all. Yeah, it's like, we're just coming so you can rub our belly. Like, that's about as bad as it's going to get. But yeah, I love going on tour. You wake up in somebody's house that you're not even sure like who these people are, but they feed you, they loved on you, they spoiled you. They were just happy to have young people in their home, and it was a great experience.
There's good people around the Kansas Conference. That's for
Yeah, for
sure.
sure.
Was there any church that stood out in your tours, or just loved them all?
I don't remember a specific church. No.
That's fine. We don't want to get in trouble with with the churches. So anyway, well, it is wonderful to be able to talk to you and visit. And I'll tell you, we wish you the best in what you're doing. We appreciate what you're doing for young people in the Florida Conference. That's so important. And again, we just thank you so much for being a part of this interview.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for giving me the opportunity.
You bet. We'll